Rob, the progression of the deals, trading Carter and then signing Alex, are we at a tipping point now where there's really nobody else to move out and you have to start importing talent possibly down the road?
In a frame of building, yes. I think the key with Alex was locking up what we consider our core. You know, he's come in here, proven to be a very versatile player, very reliable, real good fit with Kopitar and Brown over the years. But by extending him and actually taking a step forward was important for us.
And on Carter, Brian Burke said a little while ago that they had approached you about a month ago on Jeff, and he wasn't inclined to move. But as it got closer to the deadline, he was more receptive to moving on to Pittsburgh. Is that the way it laid up?
Yeah, we had conversations with Jeff, and I think we owed him obviously that respect. He's been a tremendous a player for this organization. There's a group of these guys, like I've said, unfortunately, numerous times, the last deadlines, that have done so many good things for this organization, taken them to 2 Stanley Cups. And Jeff was that. He was a true professional, showed up every day, did his job, and did it very, very well. Spoke to him last night, this morning, not easy at all. We understand, we respect, he's going to a good spot there, and we wish him a continued success. But, it's part of it. It's a difficult part that we deal with, but we can't be any more thankful for everything he's done for this organization. He's been tremendous.
And with 20 minutes to go to the deadline, I assume you're done for the day.
Yes.
You're talking to us. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it.
Next up is Jim Fox.
Hey, Rob, can you take us through, if you haven't already done so, any plans to talk to the group as a whole, the team, the coaches, the players all together?
Not really. I haven't done it the past deadlines. Obviously talk to what you consider leadership groups at different times during the season, post deadline and everything going into it. I rely heavily on Todd. It's a little different the situation today with the game tonight, so they're preparing for that. Their mindset obviously switched this morning to the game here tonight, so we let them walk through it. There'll be a time and a point where we do, but a lot of it is individual or smaller group talking.
Thank you.
Next up is John Hoven. John, you got to unmute your mic. All right. While we wait, we'll go to Zach Dooley.
Hey, Rob, with Alex, was it important to you guys to lock up a player who is a good fit, as opposed to, say, signing a player in a similar cap range who may or may not fit in with the group?
Well, yeah, no, for sure. We fully understand exactly what Alex does and fits to this group, and the importance he is to this group. So from day one, we were going to get it done. These things take time. It's something I'm learning. It's a process that we have to go through, but we were 100% committed to getting him signed. Now, you take other steps and you get to the summer and you have the availability to add to the group, right? So now you got Alex and you've got part of that core going forward. You know where he fits. Now you add to that. That's been solely our focus. Like I said, we were focused on Alex right from day one. We understood the process. It does take some time to get that done, but he was 100% committed to what we wanted to do going forward.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Rob.
Next up is Lisa Dillman.
I know you guys are performing a bit of a juggling act dealing with the Carter negotiations and Iafale's extension. So I don't know if you were any progress on Andreas, or is that something that's?
And that's more ongoing. We've had talks yesterday and today. A little different situation than Alex being a restricted free agent and an unrestricted free agent. So we'll continue to have that dialogue. He's been we use the word fit a lot, a good fit with us. He gives us a dynamic with his speed alone and his skill set. So I think the feeling's been mutual between the two parties, and we hope to look forward to getting something done there.
I guess the trade deadline is almost like a line of demarcation in terms of bringing in perhaps players from Ontario. What do we expect to see in the coming days in terms of numbers and whatnot?
Well, yeah, we have to juggle with the 4 recall.
Yeah.
We're right now we have the conscious effort here on the back end, because obviously Toby and Matt Roy would be in our lineup if healthy, right? And now we got to juggle when they can come back in, based off a time frame and sitting out, setting your roster today, and then allowing for 4 recalls as we get down the stretch when needed. So yeah, there'll be some juggling on that front on the roster. Yes.
If I could ask one more thing, Ron Hextall's interest in acquiring Jeff, did that just date back like a couple months this season, or was he interested in ever acquiring him when he was working elsewhere in Philadelphia?
No, that's taken place here just recently, but I think obviously a lot leans into it on their history and having Jeff in a couple different situations and understanding what he can do for their team.
Thank you.
Next up is Patrick O'Neill.
Thanks, Eddie. Rob, I know you said that you were 100% committed to signing Alex. Was there ever a situation where if you couldn't sign him that he was going to be traded? Was there ever something that cut and dry?
No. Like I said, we were 100% to getting Alex done. Listen, like I said, it's a learning process for me that, it naturally takes time. Okay, to get that deal done. But like I said, we've been focused on building a group in here, and Alex has been part of that group. He's come in and played alongside Kopi on that line and been very effective, very reliable, system type player that constantly is a real good pro. And we want to make sure we are taking care of the good hockey players, the guys that are going to fit and go forward here with us.
Thanks.
Next up is John Hoven.
Rob, how much consideration was given along the way here over the last week about adding a piece or two to maybe make that final push?
Well, we looked at different options there, reluctant to move picks and prospects at this time. But we were looking at different things there. I will say the focus the last few days was obviously getting Alex done. So we securely knew where we were there. And then, the moves to further get better and improve will take its course over this summer.
And knowing that you have some juggling to do with those 4 spots that are available to come up, have you targeted yet sort of which 2 players might be first, to come up here?
Not really. I want to sort through that defense issue with these injuries and get a little further update on their recovery process. Matty Roy's more of a specific set date, whereas Toby Bjornfoot is kind of a target as he's getting better. He skated again today, and hopefully we'll further testing this afternoon, be able to join our practice very shortly.
Thanks, Rob.
Next up is Andrew Knoll.
Hi, Rob. Kind of a 2-parter here. One, I'm curious with Jeff, once he became maybe a little bit more open to a move, were there other teams interested, or did things pick up with Pittsburgh pretty quickly, given their interest before? And then secondly, kind of expanding on what you said there, were there players of interest on the market, or was it more kind of veteran and rental heavy as far as the type of guys that, you've been looking for 20-something guys with some experience from most of what you said, I know.
Right. And the second part of that, the deadline, usually tends to have fitting pieces in there, whether, different ages and that. But again, on the Jeff, it was, Pittsburgh was focused on him. And again, it's a difficult situation because he has been, again, I'll say such a tremendous player and been able to accomplish so much for this franchise. And that whole group, should obviously year after year, they're going to be able to share those experiences and be known as Stanley Cup winners. It's very important. And you can see why Pittsburgh wanted to add that.
So it's certainly, given it's a tough decision, you also, move yourself into a better position for next season. I think you got 26, 27 million thereabouts, or well, I guess with Iafallo it's a little less, but still a really good position for the off season. What are you guys looking forward to and looking to do with all that flexibility?
Well, get better. We want to try to improve and continually get better. And, the players have put themselves in a very good position this year. They've played extremely hard, and we expect that continued here, and push for that playoff spot. And what we do in the summer is to improve this team.
All right, time for just a couple more here. We'll go back to Jim Fox.
Rob, it's kind of back to a cap question again. I'm making the assumption that, you were in a position to take on some salary as an intermediary here at the trade deadline, but juggling that with just keeping the slate clean with a large amount of room available under the cap, and how you juggled that.
Yeah, and we've been looking at all those different options from the summer on, the availability of the cap space, and there's a balance between cap and the cash, and using that to forward assets. We'll continue to look at that. When I say improvements to the team, it's not necessarily always just a free agent signing. We understand the flat cap over a number of years here. Teams will have to be creative to be able to stay or maintain that level. And that's where we will engage talks with players on different situations.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's it for today.